Hi, Islamic Dad here. If you enjoy this channel, please subscribe. It does help me out a lot. I'm going to do a video today titled Narcissists Always Land on Their Feet. I've spoken in the past about some of the what I refer to as superpowers that it seems like narcissists have. One of them that I think is the most conspicuous that people have noticed is that during the love bombing phase, the narcissist somehow knows the very instant that you become comfortable with the relationship and accept it. And as soon as that happens, like, it feels like down to the second, the narcissist is like, okay, the target understands the relationship, is comfortable with it. Therefore, I'm going to start devaluing. And, just somehow they know that you're comfortable and you've accepted the relationship for what it is at that time. That's one. Another is almost like a mind, again, like a mind reading superpower. I know for me with my covert narcissist ex-girlfriend that during the last year of the relationship, things were pretty bad. And that I would make a decision on my own and I would say, hey, I'm coming over tonight. I'll be there at 6 o'clock or something. And I would just, I'd make this decision to end the relationship. I would, kind of go over what I'm going to say. I would, decide how I'm going to do it. And so I'd show up at her house, ring the doorbell, and I just think, okay, I'm not even going to go inside. I'm just going to stand here, at the doorway, break up with her, turn around, walk down the stairs, drive away, and be done with it. I can't keep going on like this because I'm miserable. And, I'd ring the doorbell, and then the door would creak open, and standing there would be my ex-girlfriend in the sexiest outfit I've ever seen in my life. And, first time that happened, I was like, wow, that's a coincidence. And, needless to say, we did not break up that night. And then, she would kind of, almost like love bomb me again. Like, things would be great. She'd make me dinner. She'd be talkative, attentive. My old girlfriend was back until she wasn't. And then, within like maybe a day or two, the relationship would just go back to crap and just be gray, and she'd be distant, emotionally flat, not interested in doing anything, etc. And then again, I'd make the decision to break up with her, go over there, she, creaks the door open, and I can plainly see that she forgot to put on clothes. And so again, like, I didn't break up with her that night, and we had an enjoyable evening, and things were great for like a day or two, and then they went bad. And so, first time, okay, that, a coincidence. Second time, oh, that's interesting. Third time, wow, that's uncanny. 10 times, 20 times, something's going on here. And so, I don't know what that was, but again, it's almost like this superpower where the narcissist knew that I had decided to end the relationship, and I'm assuming that they did not have the next source of supply in place. I am one of those people that believe that narcissists are always cheating, whether it be physical, sexual, emotionally, you know, other ways. And so I think that she was obviously talking to people behind my back at that time, but that she hadn't secured anyone in particular to be like that source, that replacement. And so I think that, again, somehow her superpower kicked in. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't be alone. I need to like act like a girlfriend again and save the day. And so, that was another one where it's just like somehow my narcissist knew the days that I was going to break up with her. And just to clarify, if I had not made that decision, an hour earlier saying, okay, this is it, I'm going to break up with her, I'm done. And I go over there, she'd open the door in sweatpants. Be like, what, what? I mean, just be like, not really putting forth any effort. Because again, it's almost like she knew, oh, I don't have to be a girlfriend. I can just be a slob. I can just be emotionally flat because they're not going anywhere. So, anyway, so there's that part. So where I'm going is that, additionally, when I've read questions that people have asked and read articles and, watched other videos on narcissism, to be honest, I feel like there's a lot of just flat out lies and self-delusion and people telling each other falsehoods in order to make each other feel better or make themselves feel better. And I think I did a video on that like a month or so ago where I talked about, karma. And it's like, yeah, I mean, so, people like to think, or I should say, people like to tell themselves, oh, my karma's got justice coming after them, or my ex narcissist is going to have karma, bite them on the butt or something like that. And it's like, I would argue actually the opposite. In my own personal experience, and this is where, I got kind of the idea and title for this video, narcissists always land on their feet. It's eerie. I don't know why they have the luck that they do, if you can even call it that. Like, I know that my ex-wife, did the whole hand grenade to the 20-year marriage. And she still, she was working like 20 hours a week, low-paying job, and yet she ended up with a house from a relative and, another home that's a rental, and if anything, she's like doubled down on her party girl lifestyle. And I think at this point she's 44 and living the life of a 21-year-old party girl, which isn't a judgment. It's just, I don't see that being a long-term goal for a mature adult and not necessarily sustainable. But for her, she seems to be making it work splendidly. No problems on her end. I mean, she's doing exactly what she wants. No consequences, no repercussions. Barely talks to the kids, if ever. She's just off doing her thing. And so that was, and that was the consequences of her actions of, blowing up a 20-year marriage with two kids. And then my, covert ex girlfriend, or covert narcissist ex-girlfriend, we were together for, 4 years, and, I've gone through all that type of stuff. But basically, I took her to court, pushed the case through the court system. She ended up being convicted on multiple charges, has a record. And I was thinking, hey, justice has been served. This is, the end goal. I'm done. I can close this chapter of my life. And then I find out that she managed to convince the basically like the probation board or something related to the probation board that she doesn't need to take the mandatory domestic violence courses, and that she is now taking these other alternative courses like avoiding toxic people and making healthy relationships. And just to clarify, this is someone who's a repeat offender, violent offender, domestic abuser, etc. And yet she's managed to game the system. And so instead of her facing the music, she's like, no, I'm not gonna take those mandatory, court-ordered courses. I'm going to take these other relationship and, making healthy choices. Maybe something like a course on setting boundaries or something. And again, this is for the abuser. This is for the offender. And so it's like, well, wait a minute. No, the people that have relationships with you should be taking courses on avoiding toxic people. But anyways, yeah. I mean, so it's stunning, shocking, disappointing to me that 9 months after the end of the relationship with my narcissistic ex-girlfriend, that she managed to game the system enough that she's not taking the court-mandated domestic violence classes. So, yeah. And again, it's one of those things where, at least in her world, she has her enablers. What I refer to as enablers are those people that can, think they're being neutral, but in fact they're just allowing the narcissist to do what they want and to continue being a narcissistic abuser. And then you have and then separate from the enablers are the actual supporters who, and I don't understand the cognitive dissonance for this, but are like, okay, I'm going to support, this person. And it would be a situation where you might have someone say, okay, I know my friend is a narcissistic abuser or, a domestic abuser, but I stand with them because that's what friendship means. And the thing is, like, as crazy as that sounds, there are a lot of people that think like that. That like, oh, well, my friend is an abuser, but I need to stick with my friend. Or, my friend, attacked those people, those defenseless people, and now and now my friend's in jail, but I still stand by my friend, and I have to support them. Yeah, I mean, so it's been shocking to me that my ex-girlfriend has surrounded herself with enough supporters, enablers, and just people that are clueless to her past, that she's basically like inoculated from any consequences or responsibility for her actions or accountability, I guess. But yeah, that she can just basically go through life almost as if nothing happened. And the only reason I say almost is that the smear campaign. So as if being innocent was not enough for the narcissistic abuser to convince her supporters and enablers. As if that was not enough, she had to then convince everyone that not only was she innocent, but that I was the abuser, or the, the evil one, or the villain, and that it was actually, my fault that things happened. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go off on a tangent here, because, this is something that I was in messaging her probation officer last week about. And again, at this point, I don't think it even matters, but the great, one of the painful things that I realized after I started finding out more from like some of these enablers and friends of friends and common people within our social circle, is I was able to get like all the different stories and kind of like put them out and lay them all together. And it was interesting because the story from the narcissist changes, and sometimes within a matter of seconds. Like the idea of there being a truth or facts seems to be completely alien with narcissists. I might do a video on that at some point, but that was very, very easy to see and recognize in comparing all these different stories. And so along with the smear campaign, as far as like what happened post breakup, that one of them was that she did not attack me, I attacked her. That was an odd one. That she never attacked me, and that the reason that I went to the police was because I was hurt that she broke up with me, which again was just a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie, because I broke up with her. Then I heard that the injuries, the broken glasses, the cuts and the bruises and the blood, that those injuries were self-inflicted. And again, that I had self-inflicted those injuries on myself because I was upset that she was breaking up with me, or had broken up with me. Yeah, I mean, there were, others. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, it just went off in all these different directions. I mean, another one was that she did attack me, but she attacked me because she's on the autistic spectrum. That was another one, which I never understood. That, I mean, I have plenty of autistic friends, and they don't go around attacking people. Yeah, anyways, I'm sure I could, write them all down and do a video for 5 minutes on all the things that she said actually happened other than the truth. But, bring it all back. And my point is that she, instead of just simply being like, oh, I'm innocent, had to then throw out all these different lies. And the crazy thing is, the lies contradict each other. Like, oh, he attacked me. Oh, no, I attacked him, but it was because it was self-defense. Oh, no, it wasn't self-defense. It's because I'm autistic. I mean, it just, the stories were constantly changing, and sometimes within a paragraph. And so, anyways, back to the video. She was able to do this and still get away with it. And so the enablers, the supporters, none of them seemed to care that the stories were contradictory to each other, or that the stories kept changing over time. They didn't care. They're like, no, we're on her side. And so she was able to just basically have this, almost like a wall that like kept reality out, and she was able to live her life. But I mean, that's where things are now. It's September, and she's still working her job. She still has her friend group. She has her enablers, her supporters. And as far as I know, I mean, that's it. Like, she really hasn't had to make any changes with her life. And if there are, specific changes, such as her being banned from certain clubs and venues, I'm sure she just doesn't tell anybody. Be like, I didn't want to go to that concert anyways, so not even an issue. So, yeah, I mean, so coming, all the way back around, I don't think that narcissists get punished for what they do. And I think it's delusional for people to tell themselves and each other that somehow reality is going to bite them on the butt or something like that. Because I don't see it. I don't see it at all. My ex-wife is thriving. I don't agree with her lifestyle, to put it mildly, but it's the lifestyle that she chose, and she's thriving in it. And my ex-girlfriend, I'm sure that she goes to bed with a clear conscience, thinking that she has done nothing wrong, and there are no reminders of her doing anything wrong throughout the day. I mean, if instead of having to take a mandatory course on, like, say, domestic violence, she takes one on setting boundaries, then it's like problem solved. She's able to go those days to this other class and not even have the specter of what she did pop up. And so she's able to avoid it. And so, ultimately, to me, I think that narcissists are like cats, and no matter how bad things are, no matter how high they jump, they always land on their feet and seem to be doing fine. So I know that's not what people want to hear, but at least in my experience, that is what I've seen firsthand. So hopefully this video's been entertaining, and if not entertaining, maybe helpful. Thanks.